You know, when you talk about Chicago hockey during the 60s and early 70s, a lot of great names come to mind, but one name stands out, Hull. We were lucky to have two of the gifted Hull family playing hockey in Chicago. On one wing, we had Dennis, who became the third leading scorer in Blackhawk history. On the same team, we had the #1 all-time Hawk scorer, the Golden Jet, Bobby Hull.
Here come the Hawks, the mighty Blackhawks. Take the attack, yeah, and we'll thank you, Blackhawks. You're flying high now, so...
I knew that I could skate, and I knew I could shoot the puck. And I stayed after practice, and my old shoulder feels it now. I used to shoot hundreds and hundreds of pucks after practice. Got so that I knew where that 4x6 was, and I could put it in it from just about anywhere.
Chico Mackey centers it, block tries again. Chico lifting it to the point. Bobby Hull, the shot, score!
I decided to be a professional hockey player when I wasn't very good, when I wasn't the best player on my team or in my league. But I progressed and found out what it takes and worked at it so that eventually, by the time I was 15 or 16, I was the best player in my town and on my team.
Dennis Hull on the right wing. Moves in on goal. He shoots. He scores!
You know, if you went to a hockey game when Bobby Hull was playing, you always got your money's worth every time. And you can always tell an exciting player, you know, when some players get the puck, the fans come out of their seats. But when Bobby used to get the puck and wind up, the players all stood up in the players' bench. That's a dead giveaway there.
Dennis it was a heavy, heavy shot. When he'd hit the goaltender, it was just like a piece of lead. I know when Glenn Hall would get right out of the net. Wouldn't stand in the net when Dennis would come in. He'd stand way over on the side, and then Dennis would still hit him when he'd have the 4x6.
Swing pass to Dennis Hull, and Dennis hurries in, leaves it for Bobby. Shot, score, 600 National Hockey League goal!
My dad was likely the driving force behind me, although if it hadn't been for my mom, I'd have never made it. I couldn't have stood the abuse that I took from my dad. And when I look back on it, it was just his way of keeping me down to earth and not letting me think that I was too much better than anyone else. I'd go out and score 6 or 7 goals playing minor hockey as a kid, and I'd come in and thought I'd really cut a mean swath, and he'd be there, well, you lazy sucker, you should have had 15. And I don't think I could have played without having that pressure of expectation from the fans, from my teammates, and even from myself, and mostly from my dad.
Both Dennis and Bobby had fond memories of the Chicago Stadium and the Blackhawk fans.
You know, they've had some attention from the media, you know, proclaiming them as the loudest so that they want to keep up their image and try to get louder and louder every game. But I've heard visiting players say it's very unnerving, you know, the crowd in Chicago.
We went out there to entertain those people, and they certainly appreciated it. We'd have played for nothing. As a matter of fact, we did play for nothing.
After retirement, Dennis coached high school hockey in Canada. Then in 1982, he became athletic director of the Illinois Institute of Technology. In some ways, it's his dream come true.
I always wanted to own a hockey team like Billy Wirtz, so I own the IIT hockey team.
Bobby recently moved back to Chicago, where he represents a number of corporations and manages his highly successful cattle breeding business.
Heck, it's a cinch to make money. You can make money if just getting up in the morning. If you get out of bed in the morning and put in a little time at something, you can make money.
We did retire the same year. It was the first time that we'd been home for Christmas as a family for 20 years. And of course, my sisters were very weepy, and Bobby and I arrived together, and everyone was there. It was Christmas Eve, and it was snowing, you know, one of those Christmas days in a small town. And all of my sisters came out, and my brothers and my mother, to meet us in the driveway, and it was quite a reunion. And we realized, you know, my father wasn't there. And I asked Mom, I said, "Where's Dad?" And she said, "In the kitchen." So we walked in, and he wasn't about to come out of the kitchen to meet his 2 boys who had been away for so long. And when we walked in, he just turned and said, "I knew you guys could never make it."